just surfing now. G'day, welcome to another episode of Smallcraft Tasmania. This is a tips and tricks video. When I know that I'm going sailing, I can't sleep the night before. I'm like a big kid. I get really excited. But I'm particularly excited today because, do you remember the Pathfinder with a cabin that we showed you a few episodes back called Fair Wind? Well, we ended up selling Fair Wind to a good friend of ours, Marco. And Marco's coming out today for the first time, and joining us will be our mate Ben. We're going to have a little race between the Pathfinder and a Navigator. I'm also going to show you through some of the modifications that I've done for the Navigator in preparation for the Tawe Nunnugah Raid that I'll be doing with John Welsford in January next year. So hang around, it's going to be a good episode. So these are little cradles to keep all the spars in. They just slot down into this hole through the thwart and then into the floor here. And we've got one up here as well, and that just slots down where the mast would be. And I'm using the downhaul with a strap over the top of the spars to keep them from moving while we're trailering. Just makes it very simple. And then also to keep all of these together and to stop it from coming off, I just used the main sheet. When we got Solid Air, she was a gunter rig and we had a bowsprit. So I've taken the bowsprit off. We've put this little bow roller on and we've got another Cooper anchor. I've drilled a little hole through the shank here so that we can, there, so you can see how that works. And you can see that I've got the sock over the chain as well, which protects the hull. You can see there's a cable tie through the webbing, and then that just goes through the chain, and I've done the same at the other end. There we go. You can see I've got one through there as well. Probably noticed that I haven't got an outboard bracket on here. I keep the outboard bracket with wing nuts on here so that I can just easily take the bracket off for days like this when I'm not using an outboard. I'm really looking forward to today. It's going to be fun to see how the Navigator goes against the Pathfinder. Probably not as much sail area as the standard Nav, and the Pathfinder is probably a little bit heavy because she's got a cabin. Navigator's only got me. Pathfinder's going to have two blokes on board. Here she comes.
G'day.
I like what you've done here. Are you worried the bowsprit's going to go through the window? Gee, she looks good. All right, let's get her rigged. Where you been?
Ready to go already. We got the boats ready for me, that's great.
Nah, we left the best bit for you.
What, the mizzen? Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, she looks good.
Wow, what a day, hey?
Oh, stunning, yeah.
Nearly there. Look at this. This is all solid Huon pine. These are Oregon spars. This is Huon pine transom. Look at this beautiful tiller. This is Venga, W-E-N-G-A, Venga. And also on the centerboard cap, this is all Venga as well along here. Inside the cabin, that's all Huon pine that you can see there. Huon pine. That's Kingbilly. That's Oregon, solid Oregon. The two masts are bird's mouth construction. And have a look at this, the fairing on this, on the hull. Good choice of motor, Marco. Looks good. All right, get her in the drink. All right, so we're at Prince of Wales Bay. That's Mount Wellington, Kanani, and it's just a light breeze, just enough to get us out. So we're tacking out of here. We've had maybe 15 tacks so far. The wind's very light, but things will change when we get out there. So we've got another 3 floating pontoons, and then we're out into the River Derwent, and hopefully the wind will pick up when we're out there. Well, there's a lot less wind than what they forecast, but it might be because we're still in Prince of Wales Bay. Once we get out into the river, it should be better. But this reminds me of a weekend that Ben and I went out. We had a core sound and a navigator race. Do you want to see how that went? There we go. That's Ben in his course sound 15. Fun fact for the day, this is called a cat catch. And if the forward mast was smaller, it would be called a cat schooner. Fun fact.
Turbocharger, or cheating if you're being beaten by it.
Alright, so Ben's got a mizzen staysail now, so he's going to have a bit of an advantage over us. We thought we might try and make a catamaran out of the 2 boats. We'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sails between us.
There's Matt. I think I've overtaken him 4 times today, but he won't tell you that. What else can I say? Oh, I think I might have beat him fair and square at the rigging competition, despite all my tangles. No, he's looking comfortable and fast and solid air. And I've got one hell of a mess, and I forgot to bring my lunch, so he's chucked me a banana. I don't think he mentioned that I was an hour late. This is a gentleman.
Pretty even.
Pretty even, yeah. As long as you're stealing all my wind.
No, the wind's coming through.
No, we're pretty good. Wonder how I reckon you'd be a bit faster if you sat a bit further forward in the light stuff.
What's that?
You'd probably be a little bit quicker if you're a bit further forward.
You reckon?
Yeah, just lift the stern up a little bit.
Might be a bit fat, am I?
Yeah. Oh, she looks really good. I love the new paint job he's put on it. That bow is a thing of beauty. I really like the fine bow on the Navigators. Oh, it's beautiful, hey?
Very pleasant.
Yeah, that looks a lot better. That stern's just sort of looking happier. I should have kept my mouth shut. Now I can't catch you.
Here's another fun fact. See that steam coming out of the chimney there? That building, you can just see behind Ben, is the Cadbury's chocolate factory. So if we go around this corner, the water actually becomes chocolate. I'll show you some of the things that I've done to the Navigator since we've had her. Changed the mizzen mast a little bit. Obviously we've got a brand spanking new, really simple sails mizzen. Thanks Michael Storer for designing this for us. It's battenless, so we can furl it around the mizzen mast, unclip the mizzen sheet, and then loosen off your sprit, and then start rolling the mast, and the whole thing just rolls up. The downhaul now comes through the deck and out underneath here. You can see, very simple. And then this line runs back into the cockpit so that I can adjust the downhaul bit from the helm area. Just ahead of us here, you can see this little jetty. This is the Mona, which is the Museum of Old and New Art. And there's a little bay just to the south of it, which Ben and I will probably sail into. When we get in close, I'll be able to show you some of the architecture. It's extraordinary. If you haven't visited Mona, you should. And if you're visiting Tasmania, put it on your bucket list. It's an incredible museum. Ben forgot his sunscreen.
What's To be fair, it was kind of foggy when I left.
And 3 degrees. We're just coming up to Mona now. There's the accommodation units up in here. You can come and stay here as well. So they've got a big ferry that comes up from Hobart, docks here, and then the other one docks up there when they're really busy. Back there, that's the Cadbury factory, the chocolate factory. And just ahead of us, there's this little bay, which we'll come into for lunch. The museum's on the inside of all of these walls. Look at this massive steel structure here, and then all this concrete moving around. You can see there's some visitors up there. And just here, this is a restaurant that hangs out over the water. So that's another piece of art. Looks like an iron temple of some sort, and there's a crane behind it. They're always doing something here. He's always building something. That big thing, I don't know what it is. It could be art, I guess. I don't know. You tell me. Welcome back. We've now been sailing for 30 minutes and we've done half a mile. I found a bit more wind out here, so I've pulled away a bit. They caught me. They got a puff and caught up. So we're just coming out of Prince of Wales Bay now, and there's a little bit more wind out here. You can see just here, that's the Incat, it's ferry catamarans that's been built, and behind is the zinc works. Picked up now. I'll show you some of the things that I've done to the Navigator. These are little sleep platforms. I've got one for port and starboard side, and they just slot in there like that. That gives me just over 6 foot of sleeping room in here. So you can sleep either side, and we've got a tent that goes over the boom. That's just a bit of plywood, and I've put some rubber feet on there so that can sit in the cockpit sole like that. And this stuff's really good, this adhesive foam. I wouldn't use it on the deck because it doesn't last long, and it gets destroyed very easily, and if you decide that you want to take it off, you'll end up ripping the paint off, and even worse, you can actually rip some of the plywood off. It's very sticky stuff. As with the paint, you can just you can paint over it, or you can sand it off and start again. This stuff is a pain in the ass to remove. So if you're going to stick it on something, make sure that's exactly where you want to stick it and you don't think you're going to take it off again. I'll put it up forward as well on that little locker, and that again is on a sacrificial lid. And the reason I put it up there is because when you're bringing the anchor in and out, then you can put your knees on that. It makes it a little bit more comfortable. So I'll heave to, and then I'll show you what I've done with the sail. So we turn into the wind, pull the mizzen in hard. That mizzen should act like a wind rudder now, and it should keep us pointing into the wind. If it doesn't continue to point into the wind, put the rudder up, and that should help as well. These are the lazy mats. So you've probably seen these on some of my other boats. You just pull the lazy mat like that. That pulls the boom up, ready to be, so that we can drop the sail. Rightio. And you can see how the lazy mats have actually stopped the yard from falling over the side. This lug sail is a high-peaked lug. Now the problem with the high-peaked lug, when you drop the sail, the yard attachment point moves a long way aft of the mast. So on a scamp, what we do is we have the main halyard that comes down, and it goes through a block here, and then it will go down along the yard and around the outside of the mast and attach to the forward part of the yard. Now the problem with that is on a high-peaked lug, when you go to reef or drop the sail, this attachment point here wants to move aft. You can do what some people do, is they have a ring around the mast, and then you can hook the halyard over the ring. But the problem is, again, when you're lowering the sail, that attachment point, you can only lower the yard to so far before you have to take the yard off that attachment point. Just the physics of the sail, the geometry of the sail won't allow you to drop that yard. So the other way is to have parrel beads around the mast and then attached to this attachment point as well. But it's the same thing. When you go to lower the sail, the parrel beads prevent you from lowering the yard far enough down. So how do we fix this? What we do is we have this here. This is called a yard snotter. It's very simple. It's just a ring of line that goes around the mast, and I've got it through stainless ring here. And then what we do when we lift the sail, this snotter pulls that attachment point into the mast. Let me show you how that works. Let me reef the sail first, and I can show you what I mean. On the luff of the sail, I've just got these little loops, and when you just pull them over the boom like this, okay. Now let me show you what happens if I go to lift this sail. Okay, and then we just pull the snotter like that, and that pulls the yard in. It's very clever. So that's one way. If you've got a high-peaked lug like this and you're a little bit confused about how to attach the yard when reefing, give this a go. There's more details on Ross Lilliston's website. All right, that wind's picking up now, and I'm going to shake the reef out just for fun. I think Ben and Marco have found a friend. There's another little boat over there. I'm going to go over and have a look. I think it's picked up. It's probably around about 20 knots now. And that's pretty happy. It's a wet ride. beam reach across the river. The Hartley Pathfinder. Top speed 6.5 knots. Sitting on 5.5 right now. That was fun. Oh, who knows? What do you think? You happy? Marco, what do you reckon? That was an awesome. You were flying under the bridge. When that, just as that sea breeze came through, you were flying.
I was pretty frustrated to keep up with the Hartley 6
Across and back? All right. Rightio. So we're going to do one more beam reach and then we're going to do a downwind run back to the ramp. It's going to be interesting to see how the Pathfinder goes, because now the wind and the waves, it's picked up a little bit. I think the Pathfinder is just going to plough through, as I think that maybe the nav might just slow down a little bit. Anyway, let's see how we go. There we go. Days like this, just this consistent sea breeze that comes through. We get this all through summer. So we're sitting on 6 knots now. And there's one of those kite surfer things out now, so you know it's windy when they come out. And I still haven't reefed. Maybe about 20, maybe 22 knots. It's hard to tell when you're having so much fun. And the Pathfinder is just sailing so flat. And we're both keeping up with this keelboat in front of us, who's in a race. We got full sail up. Okay. Downwind. Race is on. On your marks. big purple spinnaker. We're surfing some good waves now. The Navigator just loves this. It just feels so safe and sturdy. Very, very stable boat. She doesn't wander off in a direction. I've got the centerboard half up. Woohoo! When it's like this, you move your body to the back of the boat. Keeps the bow up. So you don't have to worry about burying the nose.
Let me see out where he is.
It's interesting. It's quite windy, isn't it? You don't really...
Well, that's the problem. It's more that he's out where the current is there, so he's got the full wind against tide experience. Yeah, he's got a little bit less current here. Yeah. We'd be loving it. Like a little bit of pumping the main sheet. There's another one. Just need a puff now.
Navigator seems to ride the waves a bit better, just squirts ahead and it's surfing down the...
Well, a little bit shorter and a fair bit lighter.
Yeah.
This is just, we're fucking, we're just surfing now. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're just about to come back into Prince of Wales and then up to the ramp. There she is. There's a beautiful boat next to an ugly boat. So water speed is telling us, yeah, we're top speed 6.5 knots. We're just doing 5 knots now. I really do like the lug on the Navigator. I don't miss the gunter rig at all. It's just so much easier. For a cruising dinghy, I think that the lug with the mizzen, I've said it before, I think this is the best setup. Speed limit of 5 knots in here. And we're doing 5.6. Here we come. Back into Prince of Wales Marina. And what happens in here now is the wind goes all over the place. It comes over that ridge, and then it comes out. So we've got wind coming this way and wind coming this way now. which is going to make it fun. What side are you going on, Marco? That was fun. What do you reckon, Ben? Yeah.
You had the edge downwind with the
Possibly.
lug rig, I think.
Yeah.
And you're a little bit lighter, you were just surfing.
Yeah.
There wasn't much in it though.
No, actually, when the wind picked up and there was a bit of waves, I reckon you were ploughing through them faster.
Yeah, we were.
I was slowing down.
Yeah, but I mean that headset was doing almost nothing.
Yeah,
that
right.
headset was doing almost nothing. Whereas,
Yeah.
You know, your full lug was working every stroke.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, lugs are great downwind. Marco, your first sail. You happy?
Well, we didn't sink.
Thanks, Marco.
Thank you.
Thanks, Benny. Always a pleasure.
See ya.
Hope you've enjoyed the episode. You stay salty.